give a man basic needs such as food, healthcare, shelter, education, and clothing, you've given him the basic necessities of life. But unfortunately, how many people can afford a decent and affordable shelter? Most Nigerians live in rented accommodation, mostly above the recommended 30% of their income. It is not that there are no vacant houses, but the prices to own these houses are beyond the reach of many. Yet to cry of housing shortage in the country. Everyone deserves a decent shelter and improved well-being. This is Housing Development with your housing diva, Flora. Let's see the trending news in the sector.
The Nigerian Institute of Architects (NIA) is set to hold its 4th Distinguished Lecture Series at the Shehu Musa Yar'Adua Center, Abuja, on September 24, 2018. The lecture series, which is an annual event, is aimed at bringing together all the registered architects in the country on a platform that will educate the said professionals on emerging trends in their field to enable them be abreast with modern trends and technologies, as well as map out ways for the institute to move to greater heights. The guest lecturer for the 4th lecture series will be Architect Chief Gabriel Yakubu Aduku, a past president of Nigerian Institute of Architects, a past president of Architects Registration Council of Nigeria, and a vast and seasoned professional in the field of architecture. All stakeholders in the Nigerian housing and construction industry are being invited to attend the event. As part of efforts to curb government recurrent expenses, especially rent, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission says houses recovered from alleged looters have been handed over to government agencies for use. Chairman of the EFCC, Mr. Ibrahim Mago, disclosed this during a meeting with journalists in Abuja. Mago said that this was an effort to maximize and utilize some of the forfeited properties recovered by the Commission. Thereby, numerous government agencies have been allocated the seized properties to be used as offices. He stated that between January and August this year, the EFCC has secured 156 convictions, while over 108 billion naira have been recovered within the same period. The Lagos State government has announced the plan to address its shortfall of 2 million homes by building 48-hour bungalows out of bamboo, a versatile and abundant resource in Nigeria. Promoting the idea, the State Commissioner for Housing, Gbolahan Lawal, said the technology has already been used in the western coastal town of Badagry and will soon be extended to the northern eastern settlement of Imota. He said his commission has already hired 3 companies for the initiative, one of which was already on site, and that a training program had begun to ensure that there were enough workers to carry it out. The Commission hopes to set up manufacturing businesses to feed into the scheme, providing tiles, electronics, and meters for water and electricity.
When you ask a young Nigerian about home ownership, the first question they ask is, where will they get the money to pay outrightly for a house? Some will say they are waiting until they get married or until they can afford it, whenever that might be. But do you know that as a youth you can actually buy your first home through the use of mortgage? Do young Nigerians really understand the term mortgage? At what age should a youth start thinking of owning a home, even if it is a small room apartment? Let's seek the opinions of some youth.
This mortgage of 18, this is my first time of hearing it. But I think with the little idea I have, I said it's something like having a home of your own. And my plans of having a home of my own is just being self-independent.
I don't really know much about mortgage. I don't really know much.
What mortgage is actually a financial institution or a cooperative society which help in financing projects and having houses of your own.
had to be like a kind of business term that have to do with buying and selling houses on loan, or buying a house on loan, or trying to acquire, to sell your own property on loan. And that's a little I know about mortgage. And since then, I've been looking for a way to get a property of my own. In Abuja here, I've made several attempts, which to no avail. For now, I've not gotten one, but I'm still striving to get.
You more like offer up your building, your house, in exchange for probably money, most likely money. And if you don't meet up with the agreement, you get your home taken away from you or your building taken away from you. So that's what I say as mortgage. And I didn't like what I saw in the movie setting. So I don't like the word at all. I don't even intend doing anything mortgage with my home. And as for having a house, yes, I have intentions of owning a home pretty soon. I'm working towards it. I'm actually self-employed at the moment, and I hope to own a home of my own in less than 5 years' time.
I actually have those plans of getting my house, but maybe in 4 years' time, because I got a lot of problems, I have a lot of responsibilities. But the work I'm actually doing will not sustain me from getting all those things, and I'm actually looking into some ways. That's the reason why I don't run 1 or 2 business. I induce myself anywhere I find myself, so that maybe tomorrow I'm actually have a house of my own, because house is very house is very relevant. And
mortgage is when you go to a bank. In the process of doing this, we have what we call a collateral. That is, it could be property, it could be land, it could be house, it could be just a landed property or something which worth much more than the money or the money. So should in case there's a default in you returning that money you've loaned from a bank, then you lose your interest. I mean, your interest over that property. That is the short meaning I can give of a mortgage.
This is the Housing Development Program. I have been on this for quite some time. Urban Shelter team have been committed to this program. We, I think, feature at least once every year, and this is because we think it's a highly well-produced content.
Many youths today stay with parents or live with roommates much longer than it was done in the past. So if you're one of these millennials, you're not alone. In fact, the category is overcrowded, if anything. For those that are far from the dream of owning a home, that's okay. You can start now. You may have a million bills to pay, but owning a home should still be on your priority list. A housing expert, Mr. Wilson Akato, will speak more.
You know, mortgage is a term, and as a term, it means different things depending on the circumstances you are using it. Okay. A mortgage, properly defined or properly looked at, is a situation where someone needs a home, a property. He wants to invest, he wants to own a home, but he does not have the total sum of money required to buy or to own such a property as at the time of need. Rather than wait 10 years, 15 years when you're able to accumulate sum of money to own the home, you can engage an institution who has homes or houses. Say, purpose of this conversation, the home is 10 million. The youth does not have 10 million, but it can spread this 10 million over a 30-year period, over a 25-year period. That makes it easy for such a youth to own the home. What that does for the youth is that instead of paying renters, that means getting a rent apartment where he's paying renter, that renter is paying can be converted to owning his own house. So that's a mortgage properly looked at. A facilitation or a policy or an engagement which allowed those who otherwise would not be able to own a house to own a home. Okay. Now, the contrast of that is when you go to a bank or a lending institution and you want to take a loan, and part of the requirement will say we want a collateral, that a mortgage collateral, which means I have a home, I want to do a project, so the bank will require me to provide the documentation for my home to collateralize such a loan. That becomes a mortgage. The bank will call it mortgage collateral. So it's distinct from owning a home. They are two different things. Incidentally, I think because we've not been in the field of making houses available through mortgage facilities, so many people who have heard about mortgage in the past relate it essentially to mortgage with respect to taking a loan in the bank, and I think that's probably where the concept of people running away from mortgage, or when they hear the mortgage, it has a negative connotation. Ideally, mortgage should by no means be negative at all. It's indeed positive, like I've mentioned earlier. It has multiplier effect for the economy where it is practiced. Any youth who has an eye for a future, for his well-being, and he has opportunity to get involved in a mortgage transaction, my advice that he should jump at it. He should not only just take it, he should jump at it, because it's going to transform his life in many ways. One of the first things, when you have a mortgage, depending on the documentation, you already have something which you can use, assuming you want to start a business, depending how much you have paid. You can use that as a collateral to get loan facility from bank and start your business. If you also play on the international scene and you say, okay, at the age of 22, I already own a home, it distinguishes you from your peer. Okay. Again, if for purpose of equity participation in an adventure, you can provide that as part of your equity if you're working with other partners, and that becomes a basis for the bank granting you facility which otherwise you'll not be able to do. So there are a lot of multiplier effects that the youth can get from it. But more than that, rather than the youth spend their money buying what I call perishable goods or luxurious items, such money can be engaged or can be used to own a home, which will, of course, don't forget also, we also have capital appreciation, because when you own a home today, after a number of years, of course, it's going to increase depending on the economy. Whereas if you use the same amount of money in perishable goods or luxury items, they are not likely going to appreciate. Say a young boy who buys a tire for 14,000 or 15,000, that will give you capital appreciation, as opposed to you pay 15,000 every month on your mortgage facility. Over time, you have a lot of benefit from engaging in such activity. So in my view, it's good for the youth to be involved if they are really keen about their future. That's what I would say.
Welcome back. In order to tackle the housing challenges facing the country, the federal government created the Family Homes Fund to facilitate access to affordable housing for millions of Nigerians on low to medium income groups. I had a chat with Mr. Femi Adewole, the Managing Director of Family Homes Funds. Take a listen.
I'm a steward of a vision both by the government and the board of the Family Homes Fund to lead the delivery of a large-scale housing program that's targeting some of the most vulnerable people in our society. And that vision is around providing up to 500,000 homes up until December 2023, and alongside that, 1.5 million jobs to some of our people who are earning the lowest income in our society. So the mandate is very clear. It's about large-scale housing supply and economic development. To deliver affordable housing, it cannot be the sole responsibility of the Family Homes Fund. We need to build strong and trusted partnerships across the sector to ensure that we deliver homes. So we are currently talking to the real estate developers associations, we're talking to housing corporations, we're talking to state governments, we're talking to parastatals, we're even talking to the armed forces. We're working closely with the Federal Ministry of Works, Power and Housing. So a whole range of people we're bringing together, and each of those partners have key roles in ensuring that this program succeeds. So we need land supply. So we're doing quite a lot of work ensuring that we bank adequate land in good locations where those homes will be sited. Secondly, we're ensuring that we maximize the efficiency of the design of those homes. That is absolutely key to ensure that we deliver the affordability that our people want. But primarily, we're also working with partners who can build to scale so that we can harvest the economies of scale that then goes on to deliver lower prices to our target customers. Finally, because of the large capital that we have, the Family Homes Fund is the largest housing fund in sub-Saharan Africa. So we are financing the program with a significantly concessionary interest rates for development. When you put all of those things together, I think it gives us a very strong chance of delivering on the mandate. So that is on one side, what we call the supply side. On the demand side, when you build the houses, then you've got to make sure you have a structure in place that allows people to actually be able to afford those houses and to be able to buy them. So on the demand side, we're coming up and we're in the final stages of designing a home loans assistance program that will ensure that our target market, which is basically people who are earning fairly low to modest incomes, your school teacher, your policeman, your junior military officer, your postman, the fireman, they can have access to decent accommodation at no more than 30% of their income. And to enable them to do that, the fund will be providing them with a soft loan with a moratorium over a period of time up to 5 years that ensures that they can actually afford homes that have been efficiently built.
There you have it, Mr. Femi Adewole, the MD of Family Homes Fund. It is worthy to note that as Family Homes Fund support the supply of new homes for families on low to medium income earners, the large-scale house building program will also offer to create jobs which are sustainable and offer families security, improve quality of life and hope.
Hello, my name is Ejike Asiego, Nollywood actor, film producer, director. Keep watching Housing Development Program and fulfill your dream of owning a home.
The program is Housing Development, the only TV program that gives you the best information on housing in Nigeria. One leading estate development company that has adopted the Not Too Young to Own a Home scheme for the youth is Urban Shelter Limited. They have developed and delivered various housing estates in Abuja and its environs. Mr. Bakshu Mukhtar will tell us more.
Over the past 30 years, Urban Shelter has spent tremendous amount of resources in defining and developing technologies that would allow us to house Nigerians, basically at a very affordable price. I'm glad to say that Urban Shelter, as of today, is one of the leading organizations in providing housing, affordable housing for Nigerians. The Brick City project, located in Kubwa, Abuja, is a fair example that shows you where Urban Shelter has housed over 1,200 families with price range in the range of 5 million naira. I believe as of today, we are one of the most important companies, or one of the largest companies that had attained that level of satisfaction. In doing so, Urban Shelter has contributed to a large extent to all the programs that the federal government has initiated in providing housing for all. We are participant in the FISH program. We also contributed into the Land Swap Act of the FCT. We are owner and developer of the two major factories of clay brick, the red brick, in Nigeria. So what that does, it allows us to control the cost implication that comes into developing a house. Once you control the cost, you can control the deliverables. I'm glad to say that that product is manufactured and provided in Nigeria. It's not imported. It allows us to control the cost of it. We also use Nigerians to develop and build these houses. So I think those elements put together allow us to provide those houses at a very low price. That, to an extent, I believe, would contribute drastically in reducing our housing deficit. Urban Shelter Limited has been working in the past year to develop a flexible payment plan that would allow its clients to key in easily. We have analyzed and reviewed the tremendous issues and challenges associated with the mortgage in Nigeria, and we thought that defining a flexible way for people to own a house is the way forward. In doing so, Urban Shelter developed the Stay and Pay program that allows you to move into your house and continue paying while you live in the house. So we thought that that could not only allow you to pay your house while living in it, but will also allow you to stay away from paying rent while you're trying to acquire a house. The Stay and Pay also, depending on the projects, gives you a flexibility to pay over 5, 6, 7, or even 10 years. We thought that it could be a tremendous instrument that would allow people to acquire more and to really afford more in the premise of getting a house. The payment term on the years vary on projects, but it does go across the entire projects that we offer in Urban Shelter. Urban Shelter Limited is located in Wuse Zone 5, Shippers Plaza. It's very accessible. We are open literally 6 days a week. Our website, urbanshelternigeria.com, is really good resources to access to Urban Shelter, the different products that Urban Shelter offer, to get more insight. We do have general numbers that will be available for people that would like to reach out to Urban Shelter.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Professor Mohammed Alamin, MD of Federal Housing Authority. I keep watching it, I keep that always to watch it every week, and I get informed, enlightened, and educated. I also assure you, have this thing, so keep watching, keep editing with it. You will not regret.
According to Adedeji Adesemoye, he says young people should be encouraged to plan to own homes the way they plan to buy cars. On that note, I say thanks for watching. You can follow us on all our social media platforms via the link on your TV screen. If you miss any part of today's episode, you can watch the full episode and previous ones via the YouTube channel Housing TV Online. I remain Flora, your Housing Diva.